Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're getting into something pretty fascinating. The Indian Army's Para Special Forces, the PIRA-SF, the India's absolute elite. So our mission today is to really unpack what makes them tick, looking at where they came from, how they train, and the kind of strategic punch they pack based on the materials you've shared.
Yeah, and for you listening, understanding a force like this, it's crucial. It's not just what they do, but really why they're so indispensable for India's defense strategy and its influence in the region. They're a very specific kind of strategic tool.
Okay, so let's unpack the history then. Where does this all start? I understand the lineage goes back quite a way.
It does. You have to look back to the British Indian Army, actually. World War II. The 50th Parachute Brigade was raised on October 29th, 1941.
Right, 41. And they saw action pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. In Burma, I think Battle of Imphal in 44. And they actually did the first combat airborne drop at Elephant Point in 45. That was part of Operation Dracula.
Okay, so airborne origins. But
Yeah.
how did they transition from just paratroopers to, well, special forces?
That's the key point. It wasn't instant. It evolved. That initial airborne role was the foundation, sure, but the real pivot, the shift towards specialized operations, that really kicked off in 1965.
65, with the 9th Battalion.
Exactly. The 9th Parachute Commando Battalion, they're the oldest of the current PRA-SF units. And then you had the 1st Para Battalion converting in 78. This wasn't just adding skills. It was a fundamental change in thinking, adapting to modern asymmetric warfare.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears to selection and training. This is the part that's kind of legendary for being incredibly tough.
No, it is. It's famously brutal. And first off, you can't just join. You have to already be serving in the Indian Army, and then you volunteer.
And then comes the probation. I hear it's intense. 6 months for SF candidates.
That's right. 6 intense months for the SF hopefuls, which is double the 3 months for the standard para airborne guys. It acts as this, brutal filter.
A brutal filter. What kind of things are involved? I've heard about insane marches.
Definitely. Things like 60-kilometer route marches carrying maybe 30 kilos, blindfolded obstacle courses to test navigation and nerve. It's relentless.
And then there's this stress test I've read about. Sounds like something else entirely.
It really is. It's sort of the culmination. A 36-hour non-stop ordeal. Imagine a 10-kilometer speed march. Again, with a heavy battle load, like 30 kilograms.
Okay.
Then things like having to lift your buddies, shifting huge weights, maybe 85 kilograms back and forth. They even simulate drowning scenarios to see how you handle extreme panic.
Wow.
Yes, extreme.
And it doesn't end there.
Yeah.
The final test is often a 100-kilometer endurance run, still carrying a significant load, maybe 17 kilograms. It's designed to strip you down mentally and physically.
So it's less about just being strong, more about, psychological endurance. Finding out who won't break. Precisely. The goal isn't just physical toughness. It's about forging an absolutely unshakable psychological profile. Can you think clearly, make decisions, solve problems when you're utterly exhausted and under immense pressure? That's what they're looking for.
And the attrition rate reflects that, I imagine.
Extremely high. Maybe only about 10% actually make it through the SF probation. It's notoriously selective.
And for those who pass.
They earn 2 things. The coveted maroon beret, instantly recognizable, and the Baladan badge, the badge of sacrifice. It directly reflects their motto, Baladan Param Dharma.
Which means...
Sacrifice is the supreme duty. That badge, that motto, it's not just insignia, it's core to their identity, their ethos.
Okay, let's talk structure. There are about 15 battalions, right?
Yeah.
And they're specialized.
Yes, around 15. And the specialization is key. It's not just a label. You have units like 1 PRA, SF, the Red Devils, focused on, say, urban warfare. Then you've got 3 PRA SF, the Russell's Vipers, or 10 PRA SF, the Desert Scorpions, deeply expert in desert environments, or 11 PRA SF, the Vipers, who are jungle warfare specialists.
So this deep specialization allows them to tailor the response perfectly.
Exactly. India's geography and potential conflict zones are incredibly diverse: mountains, deserts, jungles, urban areas. This structure ensures the right unit with the right training, doctrine, and equipment is deployed for very specific tasks, whether it's counterterrorism, direct action deep behind enemy lines, or special reconnaissance.
And they've certainly put this expertise into practice. Let's touch on some notable operations. The 1971 Indo-Pakistani War seems significant.
Hugely significant. You had incredible actions like the Chhatro raid that was 10 para-SF penetrating 240 kilometers inside Pakistan, deep, and Operation Manhal by 9 para-SF, taking out critical enemy artillery, real textbook special ops.
Then there was Operation Cactus in '88.
Cactus. A classic example of rapid power projection. They conducted an airborne intervention in the Maldives, flying over 2,600 kilometers to basically stop a coup attempt. Showed incredible reach and decisiveness.
And more recently, the 2016 cross-border strike.
Yes, involving 4 and 9 para-SF, targeting militant launch pads across the border. A clear signal of proactive defense.
So looking at these operations, what's the bigger picture? What's their strategic impact beyond just winning firefights?
Well, what's fascinating is how these actions demonstrate strategic value far beyond the tactical success. They solidify India's defense posture, they enhance its diplomatic leverage, and they really establish India as a capable security provider in the South Asian region. It allows India to shape events, sometimes without resorting to large-scale military force.
And the recognition they receive reflects this.
Absolutely. The sheer number of gallantry awards is extraordinary. We're talking about 8 Ashok Chakras, 11 Mahavir Chakras. These are among India's highest decorations for bravery, often awarded posthumously. It speaks volumes about the risks they take and their value to the nation.
So wrapping this up, we've seen the para-SF evolve from basically a WWII airborne unit into this incredibly specialized, strategically vital asset for India today. It's a unique mix of extreme resilience and tailored expertise.
It really is. And, this raises an important point looking forward. How does a force like this keep adapting? They need to integrate new challenges, things like cyber warfare, advanced tech, drones.
Right.
While somehow preserving that core ethos, that human element of grit and sacrifice that defines them. It's a constant balancing act.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Maybe the true measure of an elite force like the para-SF isn't just their current capability, but how they adapt to threats we haven't even fully conceived of yet. And what does that tell you about the future of conflict itself? Something to ponder.